My name is Abhi, and on today's show, we have Anika Kolan. So, Anika, if you could just introduce yourself to everyone.
Hi everyone. My name is Anika Kolan. I'm from California. I'm 17 years old and I play on the USA women's team and the USA women's under 19 cricket team.
Thank you so much for joining, Anika. It's a pleasure to have you. So, I wanted to start off on a pretty light note. Uh, so, you're from California. So, cricket, like when you started, it wasn't really a huge thing. It was still growing. I wouldn't say it was growing, but so especially as a woman, it was hard to find cricketing facilities and just play, like find a team in general, right? So, what was your motivation to play the sport in the state of California?
Yeah, so I actually started playing cricket because of my dad and my older brother. So my dad, my older brother, and a couple of uncles nearby, they started like cricket clubs in California and things like that. And because of that, my dad was dropping my brother off at practice once, and I just like went to drop him off too, and I just got intrigued. So ever since then, I started playing. But yeah, there weren't a lot of facilities to begin with. It wasn't like just for women or just for men. Like there weren't any facilities to begin with. So yeah, we would spend a lot of time like playing cricket on like baseball fields or like soccer fields or whatever was open at the time. But I think as time went on and more people started playing cricket and joining the sport, the city was open to like give more facilities and support the growth of the sport. And yeah, that's how I started playing, and it's progressed to what it is now.
Yeah, I mean, I like how you said that playing cricket on baseball fields was one thing we did. Yeah, I could relate because down here in New Jersey, like back in 2017, 2018, there wasn't many cricketing facilities, so I would take like my dad down there and just play along with
Yeah,
him.
so
So yeah, I mean, so compared to then and compared to now, obviously we've had a huge improvement, right? With the T20 World Cup like being co-hosted here, and MLC last year and this year. So now after all of this, like, what do you think? Do you think like USA Cricket really has like has starting to grow and get more, just more recognition, and like what does this provide to like the future generation of players?
Yeah, I think USA co-hosting the World Cup, and our men's team doing absolutely amazing in the World Cup, qualifying to Super Eights. I think that shows how much potential we as a country and our cricketing nature. It shows how much potential we have, and I think the World Cup was a great spotlight to present that for the whole world to see. So I think so many other countries like have respect for our cricketing levels now. They don't only see us as like a mediocre team. They know that, I mean, like we beat Pakistan, like there's so much potential and so much growth that we have. So not only on the men's side, but I think on the women's side too, or just cricket as a whole, I think it shows like how fast cricket is growing and how much USA has to show.
Yeah, I think this World Cup is a really it's like just it's like a promo to like like what USA Cricket can really shape up to. And speaking of promo, you were the promo of LA 28 Olympics, like the for cricket, and that's a great it's great to see that because just cricket being hosted in LA, it's so like could you explain like the experience to like beyond that, like how did you feel? I know it wasn't like you got to play in it, but just like just getting to be the face of USA cricket, like how did it feel?
Yeah, I mean, it was an absolute honor. It's something that like I haven't even imagined of, and being able to experience that was honestly just it was such a big honor. So in our first global qualifiers in 2022, the USA team went to Dubai so to play the T20 World Cup Women's qualifiers. And then I was asked to just like shoot a kind of like promo video, kind of just like it wasn't yet approved by the Olympic Committee, so it was kind of like a campaign to like have cricket approved and be in LA 28. So we shot that in the Dubai Ring of Fire. So being in that stadium being home to so many memories and so many achievements and just so many things in the cricketing world, just being able to be there in itself was amazing. I got to talk to a bunch of people there, and they shot that video. And after that, like the Olympic Committee was working on it, USA Cricket was working on it, and it was just kind of like under wraps for like a year or so. And then that was in October 2022. So in October of 2023, it got approved and they posted the video. It was really cool having to have my secret out in the world and have everyone see it and just kind of know that cricket is going out there and seeing how big it's going to be someday. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool to see like the journey from playing in California to playing in maybe like NYCL and those like small leagues, and then playing nationals, and then playing for US, and then like now
Yeah,
just being part of so many things. Like if you see like the recognition for our USA players as well has gone up. Like
yeah,
I don't know, many people may say like India E team and stuff, but like
yeah,
just like, it's just a different feeling now, you know. Like
yeah,
especially for me, I'm 15, so I like when I like now when I try for under 19, there's like a certain expectation, and like people
yeah,
won't like people won't think that we're just like another like nation trying to play cricket. Like we actually can play, and we beat Pakistan, we beat almost beat India, I would say.
yeah.
But yeah, it's great to see like especially a woman. I'm not trying to be like sexist or
Oh
anything, but
no,
like
you're
it's
good.
it's, it's like really great to see like how you were the face of USA cricket and just cricket in the US as well. So you talked about like Dubai, how you guys went for the 2022 qualifiers, and you guys also went to South Africa for the under 19 World Cup,
Yeah.
and recently the West Indies. So like it's great to like play in a lot of cricketing countries, but like what differences do you see? Like of course fields, outfields, like just cricketing, like the players are all one thing, but like what do you see like significantly different compared to like the US, and South Africa, for example? Like what really like inspired you to continue to play cricket there?
Yeah, so I would say the overall culture between the US and like South Africa or the US and West Indies revolving around cricket, I think that's the main thing, and I think that's what really separates us as a country, cricket playing in that country compared to them. Of course, facilities, that's going to be a big part of it. I mean, that's the reason why the culture is shaped up to be the way it is. So, like in West Indies, in South Africa, there's a lot of support, not just from like cricket playing like organizations or things like that, but just like as from the country as a whole. Because I mean, everyone plays like street cricket there. Everyone's really involved, even if you know the sport or not. Um, like over there, like everyone knows the sport. But the thing in the U.S. or up until recently, I guess, before this World Cup, is that a lot of people didn't know about cricket. Like they knew about baseball or football, and those are like the epitome of American sports. So there wasn't really a spotlight being placed on American cricket. And I think that's why the culture is just so different. But as we progress, there's obviously been a culture shift also from that World Cup. A lot of spotlight has been placed on cricket in USA. So I think as the years go on, it will take some time, but it's going to be very worth it in the end.
Yeah, so you mentioned the cricketing facilities and just like the culture of cricket, but do you see anything in the players? Like obviously because they have those facilities, they're so good, but like what do you learn from them? Especially when I saw you guys playing the qualifiers, you guys played Atupatu. Just like what do you guys learn from her? Like it's she's like such a huge thing in Sri Lankan cricket, and just like getting to play against her, it's like like what experience and like what did you guys learn from her, and just what did you like incorporate that into your cricket?
Yeah, Chamari is such a great person, player, and just all around idol. And we did really good against her. We had a really close game against Sri Lanka. We got her out pretty early. So Chamari as a person and just learning from those idols or those main players in those countries, they have a lot of wisdom to share, and they're not selfish at all. I mean, if they're on the stage, it's because they're giving not only to their game but to everyone around them, and they just want the growth of the game to improve. So yeah, like our players did talk to Chamari, and she was great. We got to ask like some one-on-one questions. And yeah, just seeing how those players at such a high caliber, how they go about their games and their routines. It's just we just ask questions about that. And yeah, learning from that is definitely amazing. And she also told us like I mean, we also realized how important like facilities and the mental aspect of the game, how much it comes into the sport.
Yeah, so you sorry I keep repeating what you say, but like you talked about like how she's not selfish and she talks to like a lot of players, right? Which like even in MLC when I talked with like Sai down here when he plays with us, he talks like about like how Devin Conway and all they like talk with him, and it's a really like like they keep aside their ego and just talk with like even like for example like Sai and Yasser, they're not like big people in the U.S., but like still talking with them is like it shows like how much like uh how big of a gentleman they are, I guess, and just how much they respect the game. The game's never over you, right? So I kind of may have asked this question in the beginning, but I really want to know like what was your motivation to play cricket? Like just like
Like how I started, kind of.
not how you started, but like even after playing cricket, like let's say like at the age of 13, like what was your motivation to keep going? Like sometimes at the age of 13 we're like, oh, that's not it, right? But you obviously continued that, and now look where you are. So like what was that motivation to continue?
Yeah, so obviously once I found out that we had Cricket America and that there was a USA women's or there was a USA team to begin with, I mean, that was my biggest motivation to begin with. Like I was dreaming of playing on the USA team, representing in any shape or form. And I think that would be my biggest motivation. I mean, there's nothing bigger than national pride and I mean, your respect towards your country. So getting to wear this logo at any point. That was just something I dreamed about. And at the beginning of me playing cricket, it was very different. Like it wasn't like a gymnastics or it wasn't a basketball or swimming that was really common with my school friends or anything like that. So I didn't love it at the beginning, but having the support of my family, my brother, I eventually pushed past that hurdle and I found such a love for it. And then we started having like girls only tournaments. I used to play in like NYCL, and I used to be like, I was like one of very few girls playing that. So I was always like pushed aside. Like I didn't love it in those situations when I first started growing up. And I was actually like the first girl in the Tri Valley here in California to play cricket. So it was definitely like a lonely pathway at the beginning. But as the years went on, we used to have like we started having girls only tournaments. And I think that's something that also helped me and like find my passion for the game, not just for the sporting part of it, but just for the people part of it. Because it's a team game, obviously. So having to know that there are other people playing the sport too, and these can be my teammates, these are my competitors, and that's how you kind of grow up with the people, both in cricket and like everywhere. So that was also a really big motivation for me to know that other people are doing it too, and like these are the people I'm going to compete with and grow up with for a really long time in my life.
Yeah, I like how you mentioned there were just like very like a few tournaments for girls, and actually like back in 2021, I played when we played MLC. Like I saw you a couple times, and Aditi and
Oh,
Disha played with us a couple times, and
yeah.
it was just like it was not like MLC girls, right? They were combined in
Yeah.
like a team full of like 8 or 9 boys, and then 2 girls if they got the
Yeah.
chance, right? So like to see that improvement now, my sister recently went to the ACAC tournament, and like
Oh, nice.
the like last year I think there were like 6 teams, but like this year there were only two because of like date things. But like just to see like that increase of girls cricket and just cricket in general, like the
Mm,
tournaments we get to play now, it's really great.
yeah.
So obviously, you play you play for USA Cricket, like so. I mean, uh, getting on the team was one thing, but like, what was your mental mindset before getting on the team? Like, you said that wearing the stripes was one big thing. Like, you wanted to do it, right? But like physically and like mentally, what did you have to prepare yourself before going into like under 19 tryout or like a woman's try? Like, what did you have to overcome and just practice? What age did you really start to like understand your cricket?
I started to understand my cricket, I think 3 or 4 years. Oh wait, that's not right. Like I think no, I think like 1 to 2 years after I started playing cricket, I just found a way to incorporate it into my daily routine, and suddenly it was everything and all I could think about. So come to time of the like nationals, it was our first ever year of having the domestic pathway. So it would be like trials and interregionals, regionals, and nationals. So like different zones of the USA and having to go through like multiple games and competing learning about new people, new things, but also having to put your best foot forward in every game. It was definitely very nerve wracking because it was the first time ever that USA Cricket did something like this. And I was like, I think I just turned 15, so that made me eligible to play for either the women's or under 19 team. So I wouldn't say that I wasn't nervous, because I definitely was. Um, yeah, because it was the first time after quarantine too that we were all like playing cricket socially. We were still wearing masks because that was obviously doing something. But yeah, it was definitely very nerve wracking. But just no, like preparing. I think fitness was a really big part of it. Whenever I could, I would try to just incorporate fitness into any practice routine that I was doing because I knew like we were gonna have like sprint tests, yo-yo tests, and a bunch of things like that. And I knew that those were the controllables that I could control. So having to put my best foot forward for that, I think that's also what made me pretty confident as I went through the games and the pathway. And then, like, time for the game, I mean, I would just be practicing a lot. I'd be nervous, like I said, but I would try to enjoy the parts that I could, control what I could control, learning from my senior players because I was still pretty young in the circuit, and just things like that. But as I played more games, as I got more comfortable with it, I would get more confident and we would go on.
Yeah, I know you played like the higher stage of cricket, so I wouldn't understand like what you're like about your nervousness, but I definitely like, when I play zonals, like I can feel it, man.
Oh,
Like
even now, we're gonna have nationals in like a week, and I'm sure I'll be nervous too when the
yeah, like
game
I can
comes.
like I know this is not gonna get me under anywhere. Like under 15 is not gonna get me anywhere. I can feel it. Like
No, no, it
it's just
definitely would. What do you mean?
no, I mean not yet, right? So like not like under 19 level. It's just gonna get
Yeah,
me
yeah.
like
I mean, that's the
yeah,
pathway to 19.
yeah. So yeah, I could still feel the nervousness and all,
Mm.
but yeah, like it's hard to like completely relate with you because you played for USA and stuff. It's really cool, you know. So talking about playing for USA, like when you go back to school, like what's that feeling? Like when I play cricket here, like no one really knows that I play cricket. Like even if I'm playing like nationals, right? Like no one really cares. Like compared to
Yeah,
soccer or basketball, like if you're playing nationals,
yeah,
you're
for
crazy,
sure.
right? But
Yeah.
like you played for USA, you played in a couple World Cups. Like when you went back to school, like what was that like? Did anyone really recognize you, or like what was that feeling?
My friends didn't recognize me because it's not like they know me just because of cricket.
Yeah.
But it was a good feeling when I went back, like knowing that my school was supporting me, like they were posting me on the socials and they were supporting me. I got to meet a lot of like staff members who were really interested in the sport. And I got to talk to my teachers about it, bring them back like some goodies and stuff like that, and for my friends. So yeah, it was nice to meet with them after the games and stuff like that. But yeah, it's not like India or like some other country where you're gonna have like a following because you play for the national team or anything like that. It's definitely not at that stage yet, but I definitely do have support, and that's what has also been keeping me playing the sport for so long, and for years to come.
Yeah, if it was like India, I probably wouldn't even have gotten the chance to reach out to you.
No,
Yeah,
I would have responded. Don't worry.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I think definitely like in the next few years, we'll definitely get that sort of increase. You know, like
Yeah, and I think oh, it's a California thing, but I think a bill or something passed, where cricket would be like recognized as a high school sport now. So that's
oh, that's
really cool. It's
yeah,
really, really good, but it happens as soon as I graduate, which is pretty unfortunate. But yeah.
yeah. For us, they just started this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. In New Jersey, actually, we're like a full brown population down here.
You're right.
So like
Oh yeah.
there are like
A resolution passed with full majority, so the passing of the bill recognizing cricket started as a high school sport.
yeah. I mean, it's
It's
really
great.
cool.
If
Yeah.
only it happened when I was there, but it's fine.
I mean, there's no point. You're like it. I don't know what to say. All right. So I mean, I kind of want to end on a light note. We've talked about like just cricketing facilities and whatnot.
Mhm.
So who's your idol like when it comes to cricket and just just playing the sport or just like just mentally like who's your like who do you look up to and like before a game like whose highlights do you watch or something like that like who's your idol.
So that's such a great question. I could talk about these two people that I'm about to say forever and ever. So number one would be in the women's game, Laura Wolfart, 100% hands down. I'm such a fangirl. but
Yeah.
she's the now current captain of the South Africa women's team. And it was really cool because we just got a new coach for the USA Women's and Under 19 team. His name is Hilton Marang. He used to work with the South Africa women's for about like 10, 15 years. He was involved in the circuit for a really long time. And having a person of that caliber come to coach USA Cricket, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. And that also means that he knows Laura. So yeah, just chatting about her, hopefully getting to chat with her someday. It was just amazing. Her technique, the way she goes about the game, her composure. I mean, those are all things that any athlete is going to want to look up to and hopefully obtain someday. And of course, in the men's game, it would be
Yeah.
Coley. Not just because of his technique, but I
Yeah.
think the energy that he brings to the game.
Yeah.
He's like a tiger on the field. Like he the way that he goes about the game, the way that you can see his aura, his energy, that's something that even thinking about, like you just naturally possess and you try to replicate those feelings, those qualities. So definitely when I was in West Indies, I was definitely thinking about him a lot. Me and Aditi actually have him as our wallpaper at some point in time. I don't even know when, but at some point in time we had him.
My
Oh my
wallpaper's
god,
not him.
who is
It's
it?
it's it's Amy de Villiers.
That's fire.
But yeah, but
Real fire.
still, like Kohli's. I mean, just everyone talks about his technique, but even like when India, like when he doesn't perform, you can see like his attitude on the field. Like he's like
Yeah.
a proper, like he's not selfish, I would say, but
Yeah.
he's like a team player. So I think that's something I think every cricketer should take from him. Like
Yeah.
just the energy he brings to the field and
Yeah,
just like the passion
absolutely.
he shows.
And then another would be, Quentin from, South
Yeah,
Africa.
Quinton.
His energy, his style, and the way he bats, but also I'm a wicket keeper, and his wicket keeping is absolutely amazing. So, yeah, those would be my top
I
3.
would, yeah, I mean his keeping is definitely great, but his energy, he's always so sad.
Oh.
I don't know,
Actually, yeah,
but
he does look kinda sad, but, it's alright.
yeah. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, that's about it. So thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
today. So ladies and gentlemen, this. My name is Abhi Rambalala, and this is Six and Out. Thank you. Okay. So.